Okay, here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to Power Hour, starring me, Ron Harris, and of course the inimitable Giles Thomas. What did I call you, Giles Thomas? Giles Tiger Thomas, all the way over in the UK. That's how excited I am about the Pittsburgh Pro coming up. Giles, 12 days to go till the biggest show of the spring after the Arnold. It's going to be a very, very big deal. And man, I wanted to do this show today because we've gotten some updates from Nick Walker. He's looking way better than we anticipated. I'm starting to think he's going to push Derek Lunsford a lot harder than initially predicted. Tell me what you think, because I'm going to bring up these pictures, and I am so impressed. Let's see.
I'm very, very, very impressed, and I'm really happy for him actually as well. And I've been going back and forth with some of the trolls online, all the Nick haters who've been Nick Talker, all that, and like guys. So yeah, he's looking superb, and I've been saying it for months. I think he's going to push. I think he's really, really going to push Derek. So I see this coming down to being Derek versus Nick.
Yeah, and I mean, I if you asked me even a week or two ago, I would have said there's no chance. There's just absolutely no chance Nick could beat Derek. But I'm starting to think that in some type of scenario, in some world, it could possibly happen. What's it going to take?
I don't know. I mean, if it did, it would make probably for one of the most exciting Olympias ever. Considering the fact you've got Samson, the current Mr. Olympia, who just got beat by Derek, you know, who arguably should have been fourth at Olympia last year, not third. I had Martin ahead of him. I think a lot of us did. So just imagine now if Nick went and beat Derek, and what that would set up for the Olympia, because we're kind of looking at the Olympia as like a three-man show between Derek, Hadi, and Samson. But then if Nick beats Derek, who Derek just beat Samson, it would set up the Olympia to be even more exciting, because then you'd have four guys, you know, Hadi as well. You know, obviously Hadi's going to be fresh. You'd have four guys that could potentially win the Olympia, which I'm trying to think of a time ever where there was that many kind of people, you know, coming into a show that would be that exciting. So I'm really I'm very impressed with the pictures. I think he looks absolutely superb. I'm really happy for him as well, and I'll be very, very happy when all these trolls really sort of shut their mouths, because you know what's happened. Like I said, remember Jay Cutler in 2007, 2008, and the hate that was directed towards him, and he was the Mr. Olympia. And then obviously 2009 happened after he regained the title after beaten by Dexter in 2008. And then you saw just how the fans just literally did a 180 and said, "Oh, we love him again now." And I think the same's going to happen with Nick. So, and obviously there's the true Nick Walker fans that really have stuck by him. Yeah, I mean, imagine like the comeback for him, even though he won the New York Pro last year. It's the Olympia that really counts. Imagine now the swell of excitement and support, and the sort of the red faces that would have to sort of hold their hands up and say, "Shit, okay, then, maybe I was wrong." But yeah, I'd be very, very excited to see this. I think it's but I think he looks absolutely fantastic. And I said it along. I've said it on Instagram several times. I've said I think he will push Derek.
I agree. I mean, the back shots have improved. Look at that. I mean, Derek's got the best back probably in the sport right now. There's no argument about that, I don't think. But Nick's back is really good. It's improved quite a bit. This is fasted right out of bed, 2 weeks, totally flat. His mom took the pictures because I messaged her and said, "Great, I think your son might have a chance now, honestly, because I didn't see it at all, but now." But let me ask you about the legs, though, because that's what people love to knock on is the quads. Do you think they're that much of a liability?
Not really. No, I think they look better. And plus, it's the angle and stuff like that. I mean, from the front, from the side and the back, they look fantastic, I think. But from the front, there is a bit of, he could do with a bit more whatever. But to be honest, I don't. I mean, if I was looking at Nick's physique for the first ever time, I wouldn't think, oh, there's a glaring weakness, and I'd point it out, because I think he looks pretty well balanced to me. Obviously, the main thing is if his waistline's nice and tight, then because with the amount of mass that guy carries on his height, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's ever, was he at 5'8"?
Oh no, he's not 5'8", because he's a little shorter than me, and I'm 5'7.5". I'm gonna give him 5'7", and at the he gave his body weight, 3 weeks out, it said 273 first thing out of bed, so he's probably still close to 270 at this point. It's just a massive human being. Look at that.
So you had Sean Ray, who was 5'7" at about 205 pounds, and then you've got Nick at, say, if it is 5'6", let's say, just for the sake of argument, he is 5'10". He's holding like 70 or 80 pounds more than someone like Sean Ray, who pound for pound was, one of the most developed, thickest bodybuilders.
Yeah,
really, if you actually look at the amount of muscle he had on his frame, he wasn't small. He was a lighter pro, but he wasn't in the end. He was big. He was big. So someone like Nick, it's crazy.
So I'm super impressed with him. I want to take a look at Derek, because Derek, obviously, he's running pretty much an experiment this year, because nobody's ever done what he's proposed to do. Win the Arnold in the same year. He wants to win the Olympia the same year. That's been done. But he wants to win this new show, the Pittsburgh Pro. He's probably going to do the New York Pro. I think he's going to roll over in a few more days, stay on the East Coast and do New York Pro personally. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll be satisfied with it.
I don't. I think it'd be crazy to do that. But I think the only one who's ever done something like this was Flex Wheeler 96, because he did the Arnold Classic, it took second to Kevin Navarone. Then he won the Night of Champions, because that was the kind of the 3 seasons, wasn't it? And then he went and did the Olympia, and he got, was it top 5, wasn't it? Top 6. So, but obviously he didn't win all 3. He didn't win any of them, but he won the Night of Champions. So, but I'm really prepared to think that Derek might just win everything this year. I mean, I think he beat Samson quite. I think he beat Samson quite handily. I think it was quite a clear win, which I don't think any of us expected. I didn't expect to see Derek Lunsford coming in beating Samson, the current Mr. Olympia. I just didn't see it happening. But it happened. We saw with our own eyes how good he was. And the thing is, think about how confident he's going to be feeling now. Think about how good how much he's bounced back after that disappointment at the Olympia. I mean, it's I think it's so impressive, the testicular fortitude he had to come back from, that disappointment with Olympia, the current Mr. Olympia. And there you are, people saying you should have been top 3. And there he is beating the current Mr. Olympia. I mean, this is an incredible story. And I think a really good storyline. One of the most exciting storylines I've seen in a while, really. And I'm really happy for Derek. So I think he will win Pittsburgh. I think the only one that could potentially be him is Nick. But if I was going to put money on it, I would say that Derek will win this. And like I said, I think he's probably my number 1 to win the Olympia this year as well.
Yeah. I mean, at this point out from the Arnold, we were saying Samson's probably going to win. He's the odds-on favorite. He's Mr. Olympia. But how crazy would it be if Derek Lunsford won? Wouldn't that be a shakeup? And it happened. I mean,
yeah. The
odds are that Nick is not going to beat Derek. I mean, at this point, it's logical for on paper to say the only people that are capable of beating Derek Lunsford right now are probably Samson and Hadi. But we've both seen stranger things happen in this crazy world of bodybuilding. I mean, I'm not going to fall off my chair if Nick beats him. I'd be very, very surprised. I'd be happy for Nick, because Nick needs a really solid win. If he wins this, my God, it would put him back on the map in a major way. If he ever was off the map,
that's the kind of that'd be one of the greatest comeback. That's like the comeback of Jay Cutler in 2009, because it wasn't just about him coming back and winning; it's about how he looked. Like, I don't think anyone thought that Jay Cutler could look like that in 2009. And the only thing that makes me nervous is the fact that Derek was in FIBO the other weekend. That's the only thing, because I've been to FIBO and I know how busy it is. I think that's the only thing that made me think, oh shit, is he smart doing this? 3-4 weeks out from, just like 4 weeks out from, a big contest, because he's gonna have to treat this like he did the Arnold Classic, which I'm sure he is. I mean, I'm not, there's no sort of getting it twisted. I'm sure he's taking this very, very seriously. And I saw Krizo made some comments, and he had a look at Derek and Fibo, and he said, you don't know what's coming. So I'm sure Derek hasn't taken his foot off the pedal at all. I think he knows there's probably more riding on this show than there was for the Arnold Classic, going into the Arnold Classic for Derek, because he's really putting himself in the firing line by doing Pittsburgh now and not pulling out after winning the Arnold Classic, beating the current Mr. Olympia, Samson. So this is a real he can't afford to slip up here. So he's going to have to be absolutely bang on for this, because if Nick beats him, then what does that say about, like I said, it opens the show up then to have 4 potential winners for the Olympia. And I'd have to really sit and think hard about the last time, or whether that's ever happened, where we've gone into an Olympia and thinking, right, there's 4 guys that realistically, really statistically can win this. So if Nick beat Derek at the Pittsburgh show, I mean, this will send shockwaves. This will make, like I said, this will sell the ticket to the Olympia. So it'll sell it out. I mean, it would be a huge storyline. I mean, it would. So I'm kind of, I've got a feeling that Derek will win, but I think Nick is really going to push Derek. I don't think this is going to be a walk in the park for Derek at all. So I think Nick's going to be a very, very close second. And I think there's going to be certain poses where people are going to be like, actually, Nick looks even better than Derek here. So this is this makes it super exciting for the Olympia. I know I keep looking further ahead, but that's the implications. If Nick pushes Derek here, or obviously if he wins it, then yeah, it's going to make it super exciting. But I just hope Derek comes in as good as he was at the Arnold Classic. I mean, I don't know whether he can come in even better. I mean, bodybuilders can always look better. They can always look fuller and drier. I mean, I thought he nailed it absolutely perfectly at the Arnold Classic. And he's not, like I said, he's not going to be doing anything to risk losing this, because there's a lot more, there's a lot at stake. It's really like Samson choosing to do the Arnold. I mean, he had to win it really. Otherwise it was a step back for him, and even though he's still theoretically the current Mr. Olympia, let's not forget that. But it has dropped his stock a little bit. The Mr. Olympia's just been beaten. Like when Ronnie got beaten by Gunter, that wasn't good for Ronnie. No. even though he won the Olympia, like these things, that's why sometimes you got to be careful what shows you do. Some bodybuilders, they'll pick, something like the ones who kind of not struggle to qualify but have to qualify. They will they'll go through the calendar and think, realistically, which show am I going to qualify at? It's like I don't think Krizo's really got anything to benefit by doing this show, because I don't he's not going to win it. So I don't know. Well,
I was going to go to him eventually, but let's go to Martin for a second. Let's see. Stop sharing, because Martin, obviously, Martin Fitzwater was huge talk after almost beating Derek. I mean, I actually thought he had Derek beat fair and square at the Olympia last year. I had him in 3rd place.
Me too.
But
me too.
This is we all judge. I know this is a guest posing. I'm going to show you guys right now at the Midwest Championships, and this happened last year where Nick Walker guest posed at the Pittsburgh before New York Pro a couple weeks, and people thought he was way off, and he had his physique had gone downhill, and we got a lot of that same talk from this. Am I showing it? Let's see. Yeah. So let's take a look.
Good point. That's a good point.
So this was the guest posing a week or so ago that people are still talking about. Yeah, obviously he's got no tan, so that's not helping the physique. But I don't know. I mean, he's bigger. Is he better? I don't know if he's necessarily better than he was a few months ago when he won Prague, when he was 4th at the Olympia. The back looks a little behind as far as condition from where I'd want to see it at that point. Big and thick, but I don't know. If he pulls the condition together to his normal standard condition this quickly, I'd be pretty surprised, but I'd also be very impressed, because this doesn't look like where he should be at that point.
Martin actually answered me on a comment, because I said I think Martin's got some work to do this next 3 weeks. And I think he got a bit upset with me because he said, he put like a sort of sarcastic comment, that like, there's something wrong with my condition, is there? Or something like that. And obviously he wouldn't have responded if he wasn't upset about that. I wasn't trying to upset him. I actually said, I think he can pull it round, but I think he's got some work to do. So I was kind of, because I'll be honest, I've heard rumors that he's so much heavier than the Olympia and Prague. He's like 10, I can't remember, was it 10, 15 pounds heavier or something? Personally, I know we're only seeing half his body, but I don't see it. I actually don't see it. And to be honest, if I was looking in that kind of condition 3 weeks out, I'd be worried. I would be worried. I mean, like, I don't really see much detail in that radial bicep.
This was actually not.
I mean, I think Martin.
I just want to make sure people saw that wasn't what I was just showing wasn't current. He posted some stuff, but it was from before Prague. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see any real current updates.
Yeah. I mean, we've all seen these kind of like things like this, these guest posings where they just get and take the top off, or you see some progress videos and stuff, and then they say, "Oh, I've made improvements. I'm this much heavier," and you don't really see it. But then they do hit the stage, and they're all tanned up, and they're literally peaked for that day. And then you're like, and in the first split second, you can see where they're improved, and you go, oh, "Okay." Those kind of updates where you can't actually see where they're improved. I mean, to me, I don't see any improvements, but and I think he did look a little bit behind on his prep, but I mean, it was like a top off. He probably wasn't pumped up or anything, you know. You might see major improvements. You know, I'm kind of expecting to see this kind of condition that he brought to the Olympia, because in Prague he was at the prejudging he was off. I mean, I stated that on the thing. I actually had Bumstead beating him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you weren't the only
because
one.
Bumstead was peaked perfectly, and Martin did look better. But I don't have Martin coming in third. I've actually got Bonac in third. For Pittsburgh, to be honest, mate.
Okay, let's take a look at Bonac. Why not? Yeah, I mean, Bonac still he's still one of the best. He was 5th at the Arnold, I believe, right? 5th. Yeah, and he's got he's got Boss of Outlaw now working with him. He's got his legs back. You know, for a guy who's 42 years old, he's been a pro for well over a decade now. He's still holding it together very, very well. Gotta say. I don't know if you can hear me. But yeah, I could see Bonac as high as 3rd for sure. It's not out of the realm of possibility at all. He's very, very good. Yeah, can you hear me, Giles? Yeah. Well, Giles's audio is dropping here and there, but let's see what we got from Bonac. Yeah, there's my favorite shot. Yeah, I don't know if you heard everything I was just saying.
Sorry, I lost you there, man.
Yeah, I was talking about Bonac as far as possible, probably.
I didn't. I think with William, with the way he's been coming back, I think he's going to be better separation, better quality, and for me, so personally, I mean, obviously Martin could get 3rd.
Yeah.
But personally, I think Bonac will take
3rd.
I think Bonac might take 3rd here. Purely.
Okay, good. Yeah. Losing a lot of audio. So I'm going to move on to another guy. Guy who's been making some very impressive updates. I did a video with George Farah, an interview a few days ago. He's now coaching Krizo, Michael Krizonik. And man, I am so impressed with this fresh look that he has. The thin skin, the muscle detail. We don't see the clean, deep separations that often anymore because guys are injecting in their arms and their shoulders constantly these days. Let me put this up. Yeah, but I don't think he has a chance of winning. I agree with you on that, but I think he might surprise people. I think a top 5 is very, very likely, Michael.
I like my stripy delts, and I like conditioning. And a guy this, I think it's so impressive for a guy this size to have that level of conditioning and separation and stripiness in his shoulders, arms, everything. I mean, there's no, like guys now are just lazy. They're injecting every day or whatever, and they're just putting in their shoulders and their arms, and they're putting whatever they're putting in, whether it be gear or IGF or Mediform or SEO. Whatever. I think they're just going, oh, well, I'll just pin it in my shoulders. Nobody seems to notice. It makes me look wider, so to see this is really refreshing. I like to see the detailed illustrations. I mean, the video of this as well is you can see everything flickering, and this is my point. This is why I keep going on about it. When you build this kind of level of muscle, level of development, why stick everything in it and just blur everything? Because some of these guys, when they hit a readable bicep, there's no 3 delt heads. It's just one big blob.
Yes,
and it really, really annoys me. So I applaud Krizo for taking care and attention by not sticking all his gear or whatever he's doing into his shoulders, because look how impressive that looks now. I mean, he's absolutely huge, and I'm so glad now he's making his comeback after his shoulder injury. I was backstage, and he said that he sort of gestured as if to say, look at me. And he started hitting some poses, and I got it I took a couple of photos. And then when I looked at the photos afterwards, I looked at it and I was like, what happened to his chest? When I looked at the photo, I was like, his chest looked really flat. Like, he's always had a pretty good chest. And then a few weeks later, found out he had a shoulder injury, and so obviously he must have been in agony trying to train and trying to work around it. So I think he looks absolutely fantastic. But I don't see Krizo higher than 5th, though.
I mean, 5th place at this show would still be very, very good. It would be nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, look, he's up against Mr. Olympia champion Derek. Bonac's been 2nd at the Olympia. Nick's been 3rd at the Olympia. Martin's been 4th at the Olympia. This would be 5th place would be a feat. I'd be proud if I were him. And he's going on to New York Pro. He's already committed to that a week later. Obviously, we're pretty sure Derek won't be in that show. He'll be all set after theoretically winning Pittsburgh. So, yeah, I mean, more shows, more experience. The challenge has been keeping him full, and George says he's got a plan to not do anything drastic at the last minute, flatten out, because Krizo has a history of looking sort of flat once he gets to the stage, or having trouble maintaining his fullness. Look at the size and the fullness of this guy. Goodness gracious. Yeah. Anyway, can you hear me? So I'm going to move on to the next guy. Let's take a look at who else I want to get to. Vito. Let's go to good Vito, because people sort of forgot about him. I'm sure the Brazilians haven't forgotten about him. But Vito won the Arnold Brazil convincingly, the Arnold South America. I don't think he was peaked 100% for that show. I think he was holding something back for Pittsburgh. And, tons of muscle on this young guy.
No.
Monstrous legs. Love those quads. Upper body not quite as impressive, but, does he have a chance at top 5? Giles, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I've got him 6th place. I don't see him beating. I'd be interested to see him against Krizo, but I think Krizo will edge. I think Krizo will beat him. I like Vito. He's hammering away on that upper body to match those crazy legs. I think he's improving. I think he's moving forward. He's qualified for the Olympia. He's got nothing to lose by doing this show. But I think he's going to struggle against these guys.
Yeah. But like I said, I applaud the fact that he's got the intestinal fortitude to go up against these huge names. Because obviously at the Arnold South America and Brazil, he was the only really big name there. He didn't have a lot of opposition. It was a fairly easy win. This is not going to be an easy show for him. This is going to be the toughest show, the toughest lineup he's ever stood in. He did Detroit Pro last year. couple good guys in that. Martin Warren, but he's never been in a show of this magnitude, this kind of lineup before. So good for him for having the guts to step up and give it a try.
Yeah, he's got a. Do you know what? I was just looking there at a video when he hit the ab and thigh. He's got look at that. He's got a lovely midsection for a big guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's also similar size. He's similar size, I think, to Walker. I want to say he's probably about the same height and close to the same weight. Both big guys. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he's carrying the same amount of size. I think he's not far off. I think he's a good couple of years behind. But I mean, what is he? Still only like 27 or something? I mean, I think a couple of years. I think if he keeps improving and keeps pushing forward, I can see him being competitive with the likes of Nick Walker and Martin and Bonac and Derek. But right now, I think he's going to get exposed for the absolute top level that these top five guys are. So I think he'll get a solid 6th place, which is there's no shame in that in a lineup this good.
Yeah, yeah, and he's a work in progress. He's still a young guy. He's got plenty of mass. I see his prime happening in 2 or 3 years. I think 2 or 3 years from now, we could possibly see this guy winning Arnold Classic, top 5 in the Olympia. These things take time. We tend to rush these guys through and say they need to be Mr. Olympia now. But sometimes it takes a couple of years to get to that level. We've seen guys who took their time climbing up the ladder in the ranks. And I mean, look at Samson 5 years ago. Nobody saw Samson being where he is in the sport today 5 years ago. You did, maybe. You were one of the few who
good
actually.
Point. Yeah, very good point.
So good, Vito. We'll see what happens. All right. So I guess it's we're going to do a full preview next week. But do you want to do a speculation? What do you think? I want to get your top 5. What you think might happen?
Happy to do that. Yeah. Derek 1.
Okay.
Nick 2. I realize I'm taking a bit of a chance putting Bonac in 3rd because likely, statistically, Martin should be 3rd. But I've got a funny feeling, possibly based upon what we saw from that top off. I can't even call it a proper guest posing. I've got a feeling I wouldn't be shocked. I want Bonac in 3rd, Martin in 4th. But like I said, realize that could be the other way around. But just for the sake of being a little bit different as well. 4th, Martin. 5th, Krizo. 6th, Vito.
I don't think I can really argue against any of that.
Yeah, no, I think if I hadn't seen that, I think I'm a bit jaded by that thing that Martin did, that guest posing thing, because it was. I think I would have had him a solid 3rd otherwise, but I think because of that, and also with Bonac, one thing I was thinking about this a lot the other day. Like I remember seeing Bonac at the Arnold Amateur back in 2011, back in the heavyweights, and we followed this guy's career right as he's gone from 212, he's gone up to the Olympia, he's won the Arnold Classic twice, he's won multiple pro shows, he's been 2nd in the Olympia, 3rd in the Olympia, he's been called out next to Phil Heath, next to Ramy, and he's beaten a lot of these guys and stuff. But then I always feel like he's constantly underestimated, and I feel like he doesn't get enough credit because I've seen sort of show predictions where he's ended up doing really, really well, and in like all the predictions and all the sort of the previews. People are like, oh, Bonac 8th place. And you're like, what? Like he was 3rd last year or 2nd, or he won a show last year. And people always underestimate him and he always over delivers. So I feel like I'm going to give him some love because I think, I think he deserves a little bit more respect. I think they should put more respect on his name because, look at this. Has he ever been out of condition? His condition, his separation, his back shots. Absolutely incredible. You and me have seen him in the flesh. We've interviewed him, up close and stuff. So in person and everything, backstage at the Arnold, and we've done it all. And I think people just because obviously Martin got 4th at the Olympia and William got 7th, people like, oh, automatically Martin's better. But to be honest, what I'm seeing right now, what we saw from William at the Detroit, I think. Detroit, yeah, I think he could beat Martin. So because what I'm seeing from Bonac in the last couple of shows is more impressive, much more impressive than what I saw. I know it was only a top off thing. I know it's hard to really analyze it and really speculate, but Martin looked like he had some work to do, and maybe he can pull it in. But from what I've seen so far, I think Bonac could take it.
Yeah, I mean, it could go the other way if Martin looks a lot better than we think he's going to look. But you never know. And like I said, I think I agree with you. I think even I have been very guilty of underestimating Bonac and not having him as high up in the predictions sometimes as it probably warranted for whatever reason. I don't know why. He's a fantastic bodybuilder. He's a veteran. He's, like you said, you never have to worry. Oh no, is he going to be in shape? He's always in shape, and he's got Boss of Outlaw different people on his team now. Great coach. So yeah.
Did you see that Generation Iron post where they were talking about when Martin supposedly, allegedly, Martin put his diet up? The diet looked really weird to me.
Oh no! Now you make me want to look at it.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a good couple of weeks ago, but I was like, that can't be a bodybuilder's, a top pro bodybuilder's pre-contest diet. I do not believe it. I think it's bullshit. I mean, maybe it's an off-season diet or something like that, but to me, it sounded really, really way out. I was thinking, if that's what he's prepping on, then I'm not expecting him to look at his best, because it just didn't look like a proper. Maybe it was off season. I don't know. I was kind of speed reading it anyway. You know what, like when you're scrolling, you get triggered by things.
God, they make so many posts. I'll never find it, but that's okay.
I know. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Probably, surely, like I said, he's a great bodybuilder, and he's the thing is, he's already qualified for the Olympia as well. So he's got nothing to lose by doing these shows. But I hope he pulls it in, because I think he's awesome. And also the rematch between him and Nick Walker now, because at the New York Pro, there was a few people, you were there. I mean, there was a few people that thought, actually, Martin should have beaten Nick here, So, and obviously Martin has improved. He's, got fourth at Olympia, arguably taken a spot that probably Nick Walker was predicted to take, that kind of like that top 5 spot, it's kind of edged him out now. But obviously Nick wasn't in the show, so rightly so, Martin took that place. And he looked awesome, and maybe he would have beaten Nick anyway. So, like I said, that's the thing about the sport. There's all these guys; they're all so close to each other. Like I said, like Derek and Samson have just proven. There's if no one predicted that Derek could have come in and beat Samson at the Arnold. No one saw that coming. So, but it did. It happened, and it was. He was the right man. He was the rightful winner, just like Samson was at the Olympia. He was the rightful winner at that. So it just shows you really that there's You think about the dominant years of Phil Heath, Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman. I mean, there was a few years where it was like literally, as soon as they walked out on stage, you're just literally trying to figure out second place and down. Like, Jesus Christ, this guy is so far ahead of the pack. Like real dominant winners. But I don't think we've got any dominant winners, because at the end of the day, we've had a different winner. Rami, Hadi, Samson, Derek. We've had 4 different winners just in the last 5 years. So it just shows you just how, which kind of makes it more exciting, really, because these dominant legacy winners, like I said, after 3 years, everyone just used to turn, because we just wanted to see a different champion. We're kind of bored of seeing the same guys winning, even though they were winning clearly. So, we had
7 different Olympia champs in the last 8 years.
Fuck, there you go.
Yeah, it was
Brandon Curry,
Phil,
Sean Roden, yeah.
Phil, let's see, Phil, Sean
17,
Roden,
18,
Curry,
19,
Rami,
yeah,
Heidi, Derek,
yeah,
Samson. Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
I know, but it's good though, because I remember that happened in 79 to 84. Yes. Frank Zane, Arnold, Colombo, Dickerson, Banu, Haney. I mean, for 5 years, they had a different winner every single year. And then obviously Lee Haney started his 8-year reign, and then Dorian, 6 years, and it's kind of. But I think it makes it exciting, because Samson's going to have a real fire under his ass. You've got Hadi, who's just seen Samson get beat by Derek. You've got Derek, who's on a high now because he's on a roll, because he's just beat Samson, and you've got Hadi, who's took the time out to not compete the Arnold Classic, who's now going to be. Thinking, God, these guys aren't fresh. I've had a year. I haven't competed since the Olympia last year, so he's going to be coming in all guns blazing. And then obviously we've got what happening, like what if Nick does beat Derek? What if Derek comes, what if Derek doesn't hit the mark and gets 3rd or 4th or something? It's unlikely to happen, but like I said, who saw Derek beating Samson? If you'd have said that before the show, I reckon that Derek's probably going to beat Samson at the Arnold Classic, you could have said, no, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. The current Mr. Olympia is not going to risk coming in. He's going to be he's probably going to be better than he was at Olympia. So, and obviously, and also Derek's really cutting into his kind of off season here by doing these shows. I mean, that's why he kind of has to win this show. This is a huge gamble on Derek's part, because if he doesn't win this, he's probably going to think, shit, I've just blown the Olympia, because now I've lost momentum from winning the Arnold Classic and that kind of confidence and the exposure and everything and the kind of just the momentum. So if he doesn't win this and doesn't, I think he has to kind of win this quite clearly, actually, because he just beat the Mr. Olympia. So he's kind of his stock has never been higher. I think Derek Lunsford's stock is higher now than after he won the Olympia.
I agree because he's got a legitimate chance of getting his Olympia title back now, which so far in 60 years of the Olympia, only Jay Cutler in 2009 was the only Olympia champ that was ever able to do that. So. True.
There's only Missy Truscotton. She's the only one. She's done it as well.
True. I was talking about Mr. Olympia, but let's move on to look at this. How did this come to be? Lee Priest and Ronnie Coleman together on the next Olympia All-Star Tour?
No. You didn't read the post.
Delete the
you
post.
Read the post.
Oh, read the post. We are just the final.
No, read the post. Clean your ears out, Ron. Do you know what? No one reads the bloody post. I put it. Read it clearly. Come on, Tom. Yeah.
Okay, so Ronnie's tour will be 3rd to 13th July. Lee's tour 12th to 20th July. Okay, so back to back.
Yeah, pretty much. In fact, literally this morning I've been on the phone all morning finalizing. Sorry, what?
I was going to say there's an overlap there. It looks like Lee's tour starts while Ronnie's tour is still going on. So they might be together one day.
At the Euromuscle show. They're both going to be at the Euromuscle show.
Oh, that's right.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest, they Ron, wake up, mate. Come on. I know you've had a hard week, I can tell. No, because obviously I'm looking to extend the Ronnie tour, actually, because it's really come together, this one. And we're going to end it in the the Euromuscle show in Amsterdam, and then we're going to fly Lee in, and then we're going to go on a Lee Priest tour. Probably, I think at least 4 countries. Maybe I'm hoping to get another 1 or 2 countries locked in. So it's going to be 2 tours back to back, which I'm very excited about, because July, nice and hot. The January tour with Lee Priest was a lot of fun, but bloody hell, it was cold. I mean, it was so bloody. The weather was horrific. We had that. Did you hear about the storms where everyone's phones went off and they were saying they're like a level storm and everything? The whole country shut down for like a day. No. That was we were literally stuck in our hotel rooms up in Glasgow with Lee, and and all the So we had a screening of his documentary, and then we had to at a church, and then the church cancelled. Says no, we're not opening. So we had to then find a projector and all that and the screen and stuff. We had to do it in Chris's gym, a Muscle Lab gym in Glasgow. But yeah, so Ronnie's nearly pulled together now, and then I've literally got to figure out the tour for thing. And obviously you've got to, in fact, I've just had another booking for Terence as well, so I'm going to update that poster today, get that on the Olympia Instagram. We've got another booking. He's Cuba. I can't say his last name. Is it Keelan? Cuba, the Open Pro, and his wife Megan Sylvester. She won. Was it Tampa? She won. You're better. Tampa, Chicago. She won a couple of pro shows last year. The Figure Pro. They're married. They run one of the Ultraflex gyms in Rotherham. So he called me this morning and he says, "Yeah, it's a go. I want to book because he's got a thing for his. It's not for the gym. It's for his clients. He's got like 100-something clients, and they're all going to come. So he's booked Terence for that, and then he's going to train with Terence. He's going to train with him the next morning, and then we're going to fly Terence home back to Texas. But busy, mate. Really busy.
We've been talking about the open guys, but geez, Terence Ruffin, as far as he's doing classic physique at the Pittsburgh, and I don't see anybody beating this. I'm sorry. I know Josema's going to be there, and there'll be some other big names. We'll do classic.
Kaiki.
Kaiki, there from Brazil. Actually, he lives in Boston.
Have you seen how Kaiki's looking? Because he always used men's physique for years, and he's come across. I bumped into him actually in Prague last year. And we had a little chat and give him a hug and stuff. Because we gave him one of his. This was it was AJ actually. It pushed me back in the day, in the early days of Global Muscle. he said, "Oh, come on, I want to get men's physique on." You know me, obviously back then I was like, "Oh, men's physique," because AJ was the one who pushed me to get other categories on. In fairness, it was him, and because he's been top 5 Olympian men's physique and he's fantastic, it's a huge fan base. Anyway, so I bumped into him and I said, "Oh, mate, you're doing classic," and you could see his chest sticking. I was like, you could see his body wanted to grow, and I'm so excited because he's got fantastic legs. I just hope when he stands on stage that his physique really translates to classic, because all these like updates, I mean, he just looks, he doesn't even look human, looks incredible. So I like him as a good kid as well. Look at the legs. I mean, he's got, I think, to me, I mean, in these, look at that. I mean, all these updates, all these photos and videos we're seeing, he looks, I hope that when he's in his trunks, and he's up on stage in the classic, I hope the flow really, like Bumstead, that just your eyes are just drawn to his physique, or even some of the others. But I think he looks fantastic. But I think that'll be the top 3. Josema, because I'm a big fan of that Josema, that Spanish kid, the young kid. He's only like 24, 23, isn't he? And then Kaiki, and then you've got Terence Ruffin. So I mean, that in itself is going to make the Pittsburgh show exciting. Just the classic, let alone the open.
I mean, it's Mannion did of course, it was Jim's show. It was going to bring out the big names. Everybody would love to do Jim's first men's open show. But the classic, this is probably the best classic lineup it's ever had as well, because he's had classic in it, I think, the whole time, all these years. Yeah, this was Josema. It's going to be. This was 4 weeks ago. He was already in this condition, Kaiki. Wow.
He's phenomenal, isn't he? I wonder, because he looks thick as well for a classic. I'm just wondering if he's going to struggle to make weight, because he's been in really good condition for a good couple of months now. So, but it shows that he's taking his classic debut seriously. I mean, imagine if he did say beat Terence, or he beat like a Josema, a top 6 Olympia guy, top 7 guy. It would be a fantastic classic debut for him, because the thing is, he's not going to get, even if he does get beat by Josema or Terence, he's not going to get blown away by them, because this kid is rock hard. He's got good symmetry. He's got nice shape. He's going to impress, and I can't wait to see what he's going to look like. Yeah.
So I guess we'll take a real quick look at Josema, because Josema, he's still 23. He just turned 23 after last year's Olympia, actually. So he's only, he doesn't turn 24 until October, I don't think. Again,
incredible. I saw him in the flesh at the M-Pro. And I had a little picture with him backstage, but he's phenomenal, man. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, and again, he's consistent. He's always in great condition. Yeah, I think that's your top 3. No offense to anybody else.
European conditioning. European conditioning, we call it, that real quality condition. Like, even when they're 6 weeks out, 8 weeks out, you think, are they competing tomorrow? And then they're like, oh no, I've got 5 weeks to go and stuff. So, you know me, I'm a conditioning snob. So for this kid, and he's 23. I mean, there's the classic class, there's so much talent. There's so much talent right now. And there's so many new pros coming through, because like some of these amateur shows, like they're stacked. The stages are stacked with classic guys. I mean, there's so many, the numbers coming into the classic. So obviously that's going to produce several new superstars every single year. So all these guys that are consistently top 3 or top 6 of the Olympia, like their place is not guaranteed. Like you used to go to the Open Olympia like 10, 15, 20 years ago, and it was pretty much always the same top 10 guys, just in slightly different order. The top 6 guys, it was Dillette and Lee Priest and Kevin Navrone, Flex Wheeler, Chris Cormier, Dorian Ronnie, these guys. And it was just kind of interchanging. There was not many new faces that really made an impact. But then you got guys coming out of the woodwork that just they've got the potential to, like he did, top 10, top 7 at the Olympia. And he never misses a condition.
Yeah. 6th his debut Olympia. He was 22 years old when he took 6th place here last year to Bumstead and the rest of them.
Look at him next to Bumstead there. I mean, Bumstead's not blowing him off the stage there, is he?
No, not at all. Yeah, he's got a little more work to do, maybe a little more arms, but geez, structure, shape, condition. He's deadly. Yeah, I mean,
he's fantastic. Fantastic.
I see Terence. Terence to me is the heavy favorite. I'm a huge Terence Ruffin fan, especially with this new size that he has. But I wouldn't be one bit surprised if Kaiki or Josema might be able to slide past. They're all excellent.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, Terence is doing Pittsburgh. Terence is doing Pittsburgh and the New York Pro, and then he's flying over to us the week after. Oh, wow. So yeah, he's looking superb. And I honestly, because the thing with Terence was he would always look amazing when you saw him at the Olympia by himself, and then when the rest of the lineup would come out, you could see that he lacked size. He did lack size, so he took that year off. He's put the size on. Now he's coming back. I mean, I think he's one of the favorites to win the Olympia this year. I think he's yeah, I really do. Well, that's why I'm doing a tour with him, because I think he's for me, I think him, Summerfield. I mean, there's two guys that really for me are the main two guys that I think can win the Classic Olympia this year.
Oh, I totally see it coming down to Ruffin and Summerfield this year. I don't think that anyone's going to be too shocked if it comes down to those two guys. And if you want to talk about who's got more of quote unquote a classic look, to me, Terence does. You know, people argue all day long, what's classic, how does, how
and
do
I mean,
go ahead. Oh,
yeah. And what's the two things that I like? It's conditioning and posing. And I mean, like Terence is absolutely smashing both at the moment, you know?
Yeah. So it's going to be a very, very interesting show, Pittsburgh Pro. We'll see what happens. So next week we'll do the full preview as the list will be out. But I think this is we're getting very close. We're 12 days out from the show right now. I heard there's no live stream, but I bet there's going to be one.
Really? No, come on.
They have
no, because I know that. No, I know, because I know that they don't like it when pro league promoters don't do live streams. I've heard that they'll get onto them and say, look, you know, this is kind of standard practice now for pro shows, you know, especially if you've got open guys. And I know there's one or two promoters that haven't done that, and they have been, I don't know, ticked off, whatever, just reminded, I guess. But fair play. I bet I'm really happy for Tyler, because he's really put a lot of work into this show, and he's really hit the ground running, because he's built this. It's going to be, by the sounds of it, it's going to be a pretty big expo as well. So I'm really, really happy for him. I think he's because he's I know he's promoted shows and stuff, and obviously he is the vice president of the Pro League and NPC. But think about his workload already, and then trying to organize this on top. I think this is really going to establish this as one of the biggest pro shows of the year. Now you've got the Arnold, the Olympia. You know, over here we got Prague, Romania. We've got some fantastic shows around the world. Texas, Legion. I mean, there's some really, really. Remember back in the day, it was the Ironman Arnold. Then it was a Chicago or Houston, and then the Night of Champions. Then it was the Olympia. Then it was the Grand Prix Tour, and then that was pretty much it And then, I mean, I remember Dan Solomon and Bob. They didn't do that weekly, the radio show, Pro Bodybuilding Weekly. They would pretty much, after the Grand Prix Tour, shut down for like 4 months and not even put an episode out, because there was no shows to even talk about.
That's right.
So, but now we've kind of got shows like filling the calendar. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, you think about the growth they've experienced since the split in 2017. I mean, it's incredible. And there's still like a lot of places around the world that have yet to really sort of jump on this. So you can imagine where they're going to be in like another 5-10 years time. So good on Tyler for sort of not just running his position as vice president for the international side of the Pro League and the NPC, but for actually putting on his own show in his own hometown, putting his money where his mouth is and putting the work in, and also it's good that the athletes are kind of have really showed up, because like Vito, he could have said, I don't want to do it now. I'm not doing Pittsburgh. I've already qualified at the Arnold Brazil. There's no need for me to do it now. You got Krizo flying all the way over there. Then they're doing the New York Pro, coming all that way when he could just play it safe and maybe just do some European shows like Italy or Spain or something, It's good that they're all kind of stepping up and showing up. And also, have you seen there's a lot of names like Sam Sulek and all these other names showing up to the expo as well, appearing at the expo. Yep. So this is going to be like someone like the Ernie. I think it's going to be this kind of size, and the buzz, like the early Arnold Classics brought, So, and obviously big prize money as well. So good on him. I'm really happy for him, and I think it's going to be a fantastic event. But I hope they do a live stream. Yeah, they will, and I bet it's going to be Gilco. I bet it's going to be an amazing live. Yeah. I mean, he'll have the best of he'll have the best of everyone there. You watch, you'll see. I know. I mean, I don't know where these rumors start. I'm like, they're going to have a live stream. People, relax. I guarantee you, I put good money. They're going to have a live stream. It's going to be top notch. I don't know if it'll be free. That remains to be seen. I can't watch it anyway because my son's competing the same day. Oh, shit.
I'll be following along, on updates on social media. But yeah, Natural Massachusetts, the NPC Natural Massachusetts, same exact day as Pittsburgh Pro.
Well, nice. How's he doing? All right.
Yeah, he's feeling diet. He's been dieting for a good 4 months at this point. He's down to 134 pounds. I don't know if you know what that is in pounds.
Yeah.
So he's ready to eat, put it that way. But exciting. It's very exciting to be able to guide him like this.
Good.
Something I loved and enjoyed for so many years.
Because he was like really resistant. He was never really into the whole bodybuilding thing. And I know you were trying to encourage him to do so because it's great for young lads, young kids and stuff, especially your own kids. It's a really good thing to get them into. Like I think about the kind of things I avoided when I was a kid because I was just so obsessed with training and diet and training and eating. And, it's like it kind of really diverted me away from a lot of, and it taught me things about discipline and nutrition and, and health. And I know, ironic, but it really did. It taught me. And I think, so obviously he must have just given in the end and thought, oh, actually, yeah, I'm quite enjoying this. Commit to doing a show when a few years ago, you weren't that into it, I think says a lot, So, so I think it'll be a good experience for the both of you, mate.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very, very excited. I think I'm more excited than he is. So look forward to that. All right. So guys, we're going to wrap it up. It's been almost an hour. This is the Power Hour. So I want to thank Euromuscle for their YouTube sponsorship, Euromuscle Show, where Giles and I will both be appearing, as you can see, July 12th and 13th in Amsterdam, in a country called the Netherlands. I still call it Holland because I'm old. But I do. I get really confused. I don't know what to call it sometimes. When I talk about like tours and stuff, I'm like, do I call it Amsterdam or the Netherlands or Holland or I don't know. They always correct me though. They'll say, no, it's the Netherlands. I'm like, oh, no. The Netherlands. That sounds like something you'd see on the map in a JRR token. Here's Mordor, the Shire. Here's the Netherlands. But,
yeah.
I just got all the Dutch people mad at me. Anyway,
well, Wesley's not a hobbit size, is he? He's quite big, isn't he? He's like, yeah, he's more like the orcs, isn't he? The size and stuff.
Gandalf's a tall dude, so yeah, the White Wizard.
Yeah, true.
So, all right, well, Giles, thank you so much. Keep working on those tours. I know you're doing the best bodybuilding tours in the world for the past few years.
I've only had I think it's weird though because the whole process from start to finish, it's always like there's so much work and like back and forth and it is stressful. It's very stressful, but it's always counteracted by when you do the tour and it's just like all the stress and all the problems you've had completely get forgotten about because you have such fun on the tour. You come home and you collapse in a heap and you're like, I'm exhausted. And then the next day you're like, right, let's do it again. It's like, it's just, I love it. It's a real, some parts of it that I never quite get used to. Like you can, because there's so many unpredictable things that can happen and so much, if you could see what goes on behind the scenes, sometimes I think some people would be quite shocked, I think. But like I said, all that really matters, it's like you prep for a contest. They don't see all the hard days and the down days and the doubtful days and stuff. They just see the end result and they see you, like with these tours, they see me like chilling with Ronnie and Andrew Jacked and, and they kind of see the fun stuff and I get messages, oh, you're so lucky. I'm so jealous. And you've got the best job in the world. And you just think, well, come and see me maybe 3 weeks before one of the tours. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, that's the thing. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't worth it. So, because I get a lot of satisfaction out of it, and also you're spreading a lot of positivity as well, and you're bringing, like some people, like I said, that once in Hungary, and the kid was crying, his dad was there, and I said, "You're right," and he says, "Yeah, he's just overwhelmed." He said, "He's like Ronnie's his hero," and it's like, stuff like that hits you right in the feels, it gets you right in the, and you just think, yeah, I need to keep doing these because these are worthwhile, and they bring a lot of meaning, a lot of joy to people. So, and it's a nice way to make a living, I guess.
You're doing God's work, Giles. For those who believe in God, you're doing God's work.
I'm like St. Giles, really.
Cool. Well, guys, leave a comment. Leave your predictions. I want to hear what you guys think for the top 5, top 6 Pittsburgh Pro. You can totally agree with Giles and I, or you can think we're complete morons, and you can have completely different top 5 or 6. That's what we're here about.
I'm going to get some shit, though, for putting Bonac third and ahead of Martin, because I can already predict the comments that are coming, because I do realize that was a bit of a what's a bit of a, was it red herring? What's the phrase?
Yeah, well, I know what you mean. I mean,
cat amongst the pigeons. But I honestly, I mean, I you know, obviously statistically Martin's better than right now. He is higher than Bonac, but don't be shocked if that happens, mind.
You know, we have to go out on a limb sometimes. We have to go with a gut, and we'll see what happens. You know, there's still almost 2 weeks to go. We'll see what happens. Because
I was once wrong 23 years ago, and I've never gone over it.
I'm wrong so often. You know, so I get corrected constantly by the comments. My wife, my son, everybody's correcting me. It's okay. It is what it is. So that's it, guys. Drop us a comment. Let's hear what you think. Agree with us, disagree. It's all good. We love the feedback. Giles, thank you so much for taking the time as always. The Wi-Fi settled down. It's looking and sounding perfect right now.
Should we start again?
we need to talk for like an hour on this before we start recording every time, I think.
Do you think that would help though if I turned it on and just let it, like, literally just pull this up and then we'll just go, I'll come and meet you in an hour or something? Because I think I'm starting to think maybe that's because I've got this fiber optic and they've dug the road up on my lane, you know, and we've got all this equipment installed and they've drilled holes in the walls. And I'm thinking, I've checked the speeds and the speeds are super fast. I'm thinking, right, finally we've got it nailed. You know, living in the countryside, there's no sacrifice to living further out of town now, you know. So, and still having problems with it. So, oh well.
Let's try that next time. I'll send you a reminder 1 hour before. See what happens. All right. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching Power Hour with me, Ron Harrison, Giles Tiger Thomas. We will see you right here next time.